So just when you thought that there was no chance that the Democrats could win the majority in the Senate, and that they were going to probably split the runoff election at best in Georgia, and still be a minority in the Senate. Just when you thought this, Sidney Powell gives a Christmas gift to all of us. Now, Sidney Powell, and who you guys don't know, she's a lawyer. Was a lawyer representing Trump, and she was, disavowed from the Trump campaign after there was like a controversy or whatever, but she's still basically working for Trump. She's following lawsuits on behalf of the Trump administration. She did a Stop the Steal rally. Stop the Steal. This is so ridiculous. A Stop the Steal rally with Lynn Wood in a park in Georgia. And listen to what she says. She basically tells Georgians, and so does Lynn Wood, although Lynn Wood says it in a less obvious way, Republican Georgians not to vote in the upcoming election. Let's take a look at this. And, I found this clip actually through Rising with Sager and Crystal Ball. Shout out to them. They've been doing their thing for a while now, bringing, real news, real media, not like these other partisan junk networks. So shout out to them. But let's listen to what Sidney Powell and Lynn Wood had to say in regards to if Trump supporters should vote in the next election. Let's roll the clip.
I agree. There should not be a runoff, certainly not on Dominion machines. I think I would encourage all Georgians to make it known that you will not vote at all until your vote is secure. And I mean that regardless of party.
If Kelly Loeffler wants your vote, if David Perdue wants your vote, they've got to earn it. They've got to demand publicly, repeatedly, consistently, Brian Kemp call a special session of the Georgia legislature, and if they do not do it, if Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue do not do it, they have not earned your vote. Don't you give it to them. Why would you go back and vote in another rigged election? For God's sakes, fix it. You gotta fix it before we'll do it again.
These people are such idiots. They do realize that with Joe Biden coming in, the only way they're going to have any type of leverage, whether you're a Trumpy, if you're a Trumpian, the only way you're going to have any type of leverage is if you guys hold the Senate. And they're telling people not to vote in the Senate. Like, how far people will go to serve Donald Trump at any cost, how much they will kiss his ass. I don't know what it's for publicity, for another job, or a nomination for an office. I don't know. Like, all these people, they have their own agendas, but how far they will go to kiss Donald Trump's ass to the point where they're telling people to sabotage their own party. Now, this is so great, guys. This is so great. And I'm going to tell you why this is great. Sidney Powell and Lynn Wood are just two examples of people in the Republican Party who, are prominent, whether they're lawyers or, I think she used to be a federal judge at one point. No, a federal prosecutor, at one point. Now she's a private lawyer. But whether it's them or whether it's like senators, all of these people, are further and further fragmenting the party. Not as far as ideology, because they all want the same thing. They all want less immigration, stricter abortion laws, or no abortion at all. I think the Republican Party is actually kind of split on whether they want to repeal gay marriage or not, because most Republicans, I think, are moving past that issue for the most part. Especially like the so-called populist wing of the party. But even like the moderates are like, oh yeah, we kind of can't, overturn this. We're just going to let, So I don't know about that issue. But as far as abortion, more states' rights, no gun control, they all have pretty much the same ideology. What they don't have, however, is the same rhetoric. And it's like the one wing of the party likes people like Mitt Romney, who, is more proper and he speaks a certain way and he acts more like a standard 1990s politician. And also too, they prefer that because, when it comes to Republicans and Democrats, they might differ on social issues, but as far as like things like the war, expanding the war and America's influence and like American exceptionalism, they have the same ideals. So they would rather, have that more centrist, at least in rhetoric, Republican with those ideals, so that the government can basically keep doing what it wants and not representing us, the people, right? The other side is the Trump populist side. So, hey, I'm going to bring back the jobs. I'm going to stop crime, stop the borders. I'm going to protect health insurance. Even though Trump didn't do any of that at all, because he wasn't he's a fake populist, but he uses the populist rhetoric. And the populist rhetoric registers with a lot of people because, surprise, surprise, when you talk about populist things like, let's say, health insurance or raising minimum wage or job creation, those things are popular. Surprise, right? So, it's really a battle of rhetoric, and the Republican Party is destroying itself in so much as they'll go as far to say, don't vote in the primary until the election is overturned or until Georgia looks into the voter fraud. I don't know what they want at this point. You got Attorney General Bill Barr saying that there was no voter fraud and that the DOJ found no voter fraud. So I don't know what they want at this point. These people, they're delusional. Okay, they're delusional. Like Lindsey Graham. They cannot believe this stuff. Oh, and another thing too, Sidney Powell. I think it's hilarious how she says, "Well, we need integrity, and until we're gonna get an integrity process, don't vote." You don't give a fuck about integrity. You represented people who are part of the Enron scandal, which is one of the biggest frauds on Wall Street of all time. Do you really care about morality and things being fair and not corrupt? No. Please miss me with the bullshit. But anyway, that's besides the point. So this is great for Democrats because a lot of Democratic issues, although I feel like, of course, there's the same divide in the Democrats, right? There's the left and the centrists. But I think one of the key differences is with the left, even though a lot of the policies will not be enough. Like, for instance, we want Medicare for all. And they're like, well, we'll do a public option. So it's like, if we keep pressuring them on Medicare for all, we'll get a public option. Now, a public option is not enough. It's not enough at all. We need Medicare for all. But we can push the party further left, without having the same schism divide. As far as there is a divide as far as the media and stuff, and also the left just gets disrespected all the time by Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi. But when it all is said and done, they can, at the end of the day, our agenda is pushing our party further left. What's happening in the Republican Party is they are resisting that push so much that there's so much infighting that the party's almost becoming two different parties. It's almost two different parties. So as the Republican Party crumbles at the seams, this is a huge win for, liberals, people on the left like myself, Justice Democrats, because as the Republican Party destroys itself, the Democratic Party can continue to push the establishment further left. And if they don't push them further left, they're going to get, ousted. Because, you're seeing all these left-wing candidates come up and win their elections. Meanwhile, you see a lot of these older candidates who are more centrist, or even younger candidates like when Ted Kennedy tried to run, lose their elections because people don't want their ideas. People want the popular ideas. Medicare for all, free college, universal child care. These are popular things. So I do believe that the Republican Civil War is not only good for the Democrats at large, it's good for the left. Because we are succeeding in pushing the conversation further to the left. In the media, both the media and the Republican Party, is split right down the middle. Like with CNN, MSNBC and stuff, of course they represent the establishment, but they can't just be like, oh, Medicare for all, mwahaha, that's so stupid. Or, oh, universal basic income, mwahaha. They actually have to talk about these issues now because they're popular with the voter base. With the Republican Party, there's literally two different voter bases. There's the voter base who would rather vote for Joe Biden than Trump because he's a nice person, pretty much, and oh, he's a good man, and blah, blah, blah. And then there are the people who are just like Trump or die. So it's almost like they have two different bases. At least with the Democratic Party, we have one base, and although there is a divide, it's not as extreme and out of control, as the Republican one. So I do think this is a win for Democrats. I think this is a win for the left specifically because the left keeps winning more and more elections. And I think this is the time where we can just swoop in and start taking power and start making some of these reforms that we need to do. But, it starts with the Georgia runoff. And, I never thought I would say this, but hopefully people listen to people like Cindy Powell and Lindsey Graham. Sounds funny even saying that. And they don't vote. Because if they don't vote, people listen. If the Trump supporters, enough of them don't vote, they will lose that election. And the Democrats will have a majority in both houses.